There was a Reddit post. Everybody was talking about the whole Netflix, the Stonk Bros, the GameStop, and this and that, and all the drama going on with that. There was one thing that was talked about in particular that I think is very, very worthy of a discussion for all of you, and me included. All right? This revolves mostly around GameStop for this conversation, but it can go to any retail business with the similar motto fashion like GameStop. So, I want to start off with what GameStop employees are complaining about, which, by the way, they're complaining about a lot of shit. They're complaining about not getting more than 50 cents. Okay, a 50-cent raise was terrible. They're talking about bad conditions and working. Okay, they're talking about being overworked. Okay, forget bad conditions, being overworked. All right, they also talking about people, coming in, taking advantage of them. All right, calling them anything, nothing being done. Corporate don't care. That's a lot of things that's being said. That's just what I'm reporting. All right, I'm reporting what's being said. But one thing the GameStop employees talked about right here, I felt it was worthy of a discussion. So let me ask y'all. GameStop employees on Reddit had a long discussion about being in GameStop and having to work and monitor badass kids. The reason I say badass kids is because these kids would typically be the kids who are causing the destruction in the store. Usually the kids are quiet, it ain't no problem. They doing their thing. It's the kids that's picking up, dropping things wherever. Oh, they're playing toss back and forth with the damn plushie. It's fun. Oh, catch frisbee in the store. You know what I mean? It's that. There were so many GameStop employees that spoke out about these stories. And you know what some of them were? There were parents who dropped kids off and were like, hey, make sure my kid doesn't leave. Can you believe a parent would drop their kid off at a store, a GameStop, and say, could you make sure my kid don't leave? Of course, the GameStop employee said, hell no. Skid itch, get out of here. And she didn't take too kindly to that. She got mad. A lot of times they've called mall security, which, by the way, mall security ain't going to do a damn thing. You know why? Mall security ain't touching no kids. Man, that's shit. Phone going up fast. Oh, we got it. We got him. Mall security touched the kid. They better cancel his ass. Him or her. We don't know. But they canceled their ass fast. Right? So mall security's not going to do much when it comes to young kids. And when I speak of young kids, I'm talking about between the ages of 6 and 12. I'm not talking about just a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old. We know how they get down. They good. All right. If they cause trouble, they cause trouble. They're going to cause trouble anyway. But 6 to 12 is ridiculous. So I want to ask y'all, has everyone else experienced the same thing I did? Growing up, it was normal to go into a mall and to say, here, Johnny, here $5. Billy, here $5. Lil Ray, here $5. Y'all go into the arcade and have fun. I'll be back here in 2 hours. Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember them days? Right? You get your $5, which, by the way, back then was a lot. Wasn't like now. Now they don't even do tokens or little quarters. They just want you to scan the car. Because shit, they raping you with the points. Anyways. So we go in there. A game, 25 cents, which is 1 token or 2 tokens. That was the most. So you lasted a while, but it depends on how you run through your tokens. We were hardcore gamers, so we lasted. We're playing, Bad Dudes back then. Y'all remember Bad Dudes? Shout out. Michael Jackson, Moonwalker, right? Played that Ninja Gaiden, River City Ransom. These games were in the arcade. There was another boxing game, too. I can't think of it, right? Yo, he ain't lying. Like I say on my man Magnus. Yo, shout out my man Magnus, because he ain't lying right there. It was definitely... We say 2 hours, it was all day. Let's just say for the sake of the story, it was 2 hours. You got left in the mall and you played the game. And when you finished playing the game, you go to your brother, whoever you was with. You might watch them for a little bit. But when you guys all finished, you probably finished before time your parents came back. So usually what you would do is you would go around the mall. You would go into certain different stores. You would, hey, look at this. Back then in my day, let me tell y'all, when I was young coming up, a big thing was the bookstore. Bookstore was huge. Nowadays, the bookstore is considered lame. Okay. But the bookstore was huge because if you love video games, you weren't getting better video game news than magazines. Magazines was dropping it like it's hot back then. So bookstores was the next place. So for me, I left the arcade. I go over to the bookstore. I'm looking at Game Pros, Electronic Gaming Monthly, PC Gamer. It was a lot of magazines back then. I can't even go through them, but just so many game. I want to say Nintendo Power was around. A lot of gaming magazines. So you would go through and you can sit there and read for hours. Nobody was telling you now. They weren't saying, hey, you can't read in the store. This is back. Hey, you could come back, you read, you go through the book. You go out, you go to the next store. Maybe it was cassette tapes were big, so the audio store, you're listening to music. But after so long, it wasn't much to do. I'm gonna be honest. That's when Funko Land came around. Shout out Funko Land. And yo, Code Junkies. Shout out Code Junkies. My man Magnus, you dropping the knowledge, man. They ain't ready for that. Code Junkies. This book, okay, the Code Junkie book was filled with so many codes. You felt like God gifted you the cheat of all life. You just felt that way. If you came over your homie house with a Code Junkie book, it didn't even matter. Who cares? It's every game. He's like, yo, you got a Code Junkie? You like, yeah. He's like, oh snap, what codes are in there for tag team wrestling? Oh snap. That's what Code Junkie books was about. Okay. But Funko Land, EB Games, which is Egghead Software as well, Electronic Boutique, is what I meant to say before, but Egghead Software was another company. A lot of these companies were the beginning, the start of these stores that are now known as GameStop. And these places were known for kids to come in. And back then, it was a lot more free because right now, GameStop be having it locked up in all those stores. Back then, there were competition between video game consoles heavy. And what they used to do is they had every console in a glass case and you could play every one. There were demo discs, but they would let you try games all the time. I remember walking to the store. Excuse me, can I try Super Mario 3? Sure. He pulls it out the case. He goes, slaps it in Nintendo, cuts it on, close the case. There you go. And anybody come in gets to play Super Mario 3. You know, you're probably not going to be able to play the whole entire time because somebody else is going to want to play. And you got tons of other games. It's just so much to do. So you were in there. You got to see these game consoles. You got to see trailers, videos. It was the time of your life. Things change. Now all those damn trailers I can get from my phone. There are mobile games that are better than some AAA games that are being released on consoles. What do? So now those same kids come into GameStop. Yes, they're us now, right? They come into GameStop and guess what? It ain't got the same flair. It ain't got the same feeling. They tossing around plush toys all the time. You know why they doing that? Because plush toys are more exciting at GameStop now than the actual games. But that's not what we're talking about. What we want to talk about is these badass kids. These badass kids who are sitting there being left alone in the store from their parents. Now, Ignacio, shout out my man Ignacio too. Definitely old school. You probably remember back in the days, the Funko Land, the Electronic Boutique, the Egghead Software, all that. You probably remember. My dog. Shout out Ignacio. Gotta shout you out. So, I want to say, if I was in the position of a GameStop employee, let me tell you guys how I would handle this situation. So, kid being left in the store, right? And by the way, GameStop employees, don't front. When that parent walked out the door, they left that damn kid. All right? I'd have been, excuse me, ma'am, your child. All right? Come get your kid. But me, this is what I would have done. I would let the kid sit there. He would have been in there. Hey, go ahead and play. I would have took care of customers and everything. Hey, cool. All that, right? Doing everything, enjoying. Guess what would have happened? Everybody would have left. It would have been just the kids sitting by, right? I would have went over to him like, look, hey, what's going on, man? Where your mom at? Where your dad? Where anybody? Oh, they went to get their hair done. Well, hey, you can't be here, man. You can't be sit there. We're gonna have to find your mom or something. We ain't gonna be able to do that. We can't. That's against store policy. I can't watch you. If something happened to you, I can't save you. Your mama and daddy the only one that can save you. I can't touch you. I would make it like if something happened to you, boy, I can't do nothing. Somebody can come in here, bow, 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 woo, off the top rope, elbow drop your ass. And I'm gonna sit back like, hey, that's how I'm gonna make it. I ain't gonna be able to do that. I can't touch it. That's why you need your mom and dad here, because somebody could come up and slap you up. They'll go running back to their mom and dad, I'm sure. But these GameStop employees have had it to the brim already with what's going on. So they are wondering, why is this? Why are parents doing this? Is this normal? So I'm here to have the discussion. I want to ask all of you, is it normal to leave your children between the ages of 6 through 12 at a GameStop for any period of time? And then the next question is, if it is, yes, it's okay. The next question is, how long? How long? Let me ask y'all, how long? That's all I got to say. How long? Because I think having an hour in a GameStop is torture for a 6-year-old. Yo, a 6-year-old can't find enough stuff to do in a GameStop for an hour? If you a parent right now who said yes to the following question, I hope you're not leaving them in there a long time. That's all I got to say. Because see, 6 to 12 is a wide range. You get a 12-year-old, that's not that bad. I was 12. I was walking in and out of GameStop, going to the arcade, doing all that myself at 12 years old, right? 6 years old, I wasn't doing that. Yo, I was just at the park the other day with my daughter. You know what I was seeing? About 12 kids running around watching each other. I see little girls about to run into the street, little kids selling bracelets to grown-ups. By the way, I want to say 90% of them were little girls. That's crazy to me. Parents wonder when things happen, why they happen. A lot of these crazy stories, Netflix, Dahmer, have you watched it? Go watch it. You stop leaving your kid by themselves at a GameStop. It's not just the employees. We're beyond just talking about the employees, right? We're talking about the simple parenting. Is that good parenting? Is that bad parenting? That is the question. Because see, to me, I come from the age where it was scary as hell to be alone. Y'all feel entitled, privileged, all types of stuff coming up. And I know I sound like the old guy, but it's true. You walk out there, nothing could happen to me. No, I come from an age where that internet wasn't popping like that. Cameras weren't everywhere. If you got snatched up, you were gone. You were hoping to run to a payphone. That was it. That was your only saving grace, a payphone. It's crazy how we lived, how scary it was. And now kids just going out there. They ain't got no worries in the world. People are still crazy, man. And parents, we got to take responsibility. We cannot sit here and if something happens to our kids, blame store owners. Something happened, take it. Take it. That's it. Right now, I want to go to the chat. I want to go to the chat because I want to get a little bit of opinion on this. Okay. Now, my man Joe, I was left for 20, 30 minutes at most. Shout out my man Joe for that. Joe, let me tell you, Joe, 20, 30 minutes was probably the fastest that, my mom probably ever came back. Yo, I'm going to say this as a parent too. Let me give both sides of the coin. Because you want to be a protective parent. But I understand as a parent, having multiple children, how things can become overwhelming as a single parent. I understand that. To where it's not much time for you to get things done that need to be done. Not just want to be done, that need to be done. So that's why there's praise taken by these parents that are single parents that make it through that struggle, right? So 20, 30 minutes, Joe, I would say that's pretty good. 20, hey, you said a Toys R Us, Joe? Oh, my goodness. A Toys R Us, man, I would have been in a Toys R Us for like 2 hours. Man, I would have been mad my mama picked me up in 30 minutes. Mom, we ain't even get to play the game yet. I ain't even get to ride down the bike. I ain't even get your ass in the car. Shout out Toys R Us, 20, 30 minutes. Yes, Hey, my man Ignacio, yo, he preaching. 4 hours. That, yo, my man, he said, that's a successful day. As a parent, they would say that's a successful day. That's a full day out. When you come back home, your ass don't want to go nowhere. 4 hours out, oh, you come home, you pooped. You done. Oh, shoot, cut on the TV. Shoot, Mom, you made dinner? Shoot, I'm ready to eat. Shoot, let me get this. I remember that. He ain't lying. Okay, let's go down a little. Okay, in Kmart, let me go. My man Joe. In Kmart, I was left alone max 15 to 20 minutes playing video games on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox. Those were the days. Now, yo, shut up, my man Joe. Again. I'm going to say this, Joe. Back in them days, man, games were different. Like, I could have stayed in the store for hours and played Mario 64. It was beautiful. But you had other people, so you can't just stay there. And also you had Toys R Us, you got bikes. Also Kmart, you got bikes, you got other stuff you can ride. If you got, you're not supposed to ride the bikes. Let me not encourage it. But hey, you got to get, your entertainment somewhere, kids. That's what you do, right? It's what you do. You find entertainment. You might get a little football. Y'all throw it back and forth. And eventually they want to kick your ass out the store. Let's go now. I'll leave them until they pick them. Yo, my man Ignacio. I got to repeat this because, people listen to this. They like to ride down the road and listen, so I got to repeat it. My man Ignacio, I'll leave them in Toys R Us and pick them up to next day. Damn.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Woo, he told him the next day. Damn. Nah, I know what you mean. I know you're joking, man. And then he comes out, we know you're joking, man. All right, my man, Dead Specimen, you cool. Dead Specimen, let me go ahead and give you a couple of shots, man. My man tuned in. Salute you, man. MGR, my man, my dog. Let me see what MGR talk about, man. We had a woman here leave her kid in TGA. Oh, my goodness. In the car, and she went into a casino. She got charged. This is what I'm talking about. Leaving your children unattended. And unattended in a car is just beneath sad. All right. But hold on. You said read the name. Okay, I did. We did catch up. Okay. But that was just, man, how could you leave your kid in the car? And then you got charged. You went to gamble. GameStop employee said a woman literally brought her kid in and said, hey, I'm going to get my hair done. Could he stay here for a bit? You're asking him as if he the damn daddy. Hey, honey, do you mind if he stays here a bit with you while I get my hair done? No. Take your ass out of my store. Hell, give me a 0 review. Call corporate. I don't care. I'm not watching your kids. I'm not. When I was at the park the other day, I thought, damn, I could just go out there and save one of them kids if they run out to the street. I'm not going. No, I don't want to even look because I wound up, hey, you, can you come over here for some questioning? You were the last one that seen her, right? You sure you didn't come across the street before they? No, you ain't getting me in none of that. I don't even want to. Let's go. These kids out here crazy. Too many little people and they ain't being watched. Let's roll. I see something about to happen. I ain't doing it. So, is there something wrong with that? I want to say, what's in a good time? What's a good amount of time to leave your children in the store? Is there any amount of good time? We said if you say yes, I would say if your child is 6 years old, there is no good time. There is no good time to leave your child alone in the store. If your child is 12, I don't think nothing's wrong with leaving a 12-year-old in a store by themselves. So I'm mixed with the age, 6, and that's why I said 6 to 12. Because a 12-year-old in the GameStop by themselves, right? Probably not going to do nothing but play the game, doing something. They're going to come out. They're going to get bored really quick. It's not going to hold their attention. But let me get to some of this. Also had a teacher this year, hot summer day, she forgot to drop her kid off at daycare, left him in the car, passed away, found out when her work day ended. Damn. Yo. So MGR, you just killing us right now, man. You just no, but I feel you. They're true stories, and believe me, it is true. The amount of parents that have neglected children has happened, right? Some people want to say, has it been more or less? I don't think so. I want to say it has been more only because we have technology to keep children entertained and to let you know. So, for instance, there's technology I know that's out that can tell you if someone's eyes is open looking at something. So that technology can be put in place, right? So there could be parents who see, oh, the eyes closed, their eyes closed. They ain't watching it. They doing something else, or, but those are tools to help you with parenting when your actual job as a parent is to be there for your child. So I'm sorry. I just feel differently about that, man. I don't know. My man, Red Ghost. Shout out Red Ghost, man. You got the YouTube popping. You popping over there, Red Ghost. You popping, man. I got to salute you, man. Give you a get your Mario, man. Appreciate that. Like up. You heard my man. So, what do y'all think? I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think? Should you leave a child in the store at any time? Anytime. Is it okay? It seems like to me, most people seem to say it's okay. I haven't really got anybody say there's no time to leave a child in the store by themselves. To me, I think if you're 12, it's fine. You're 6, you're wilding. Like, and then you might say, what? Because what the hell can a 6-year-old, a 12-year-old can read all the box art, can look at everything, can ask questions. If they got money from their parents, they can possibly buy something, maybe some candy to eat while they watch something, talk to a friend, meet somebody. Hell, I got tons of things a 12-year-old could come up with. A 6-year-old ain't gonna come up. Everything a 6-year-old gonna come up with is wild. And my man, I appreciate that. So depends on the age. So does it matter if you have siblings? So for instance, my baby in there, she's 6, but she in there with her older siblings. They 9 and 13. She good? Let her go. They 9 and 13. Let them go. They gonna watch her. I'm telling you, that 13-year-old ain't about, I ain't gonna say all 13-year-olds. Some 13-year-olds, I will admit, they lay down the laws on their younger siblings. Boy, sit your ass. I ain't gonna lie. My older brother be like, boy, all right, do it. I'll knock your ass out. You know what I mean? He wasn't gonna knock me out for real, but he'll choke me out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Man, stop playing. All right. Shoot, I'm gonna leave. No, and he wouldn't do that. I ain't gonna lie. My brother wasn't forceful like that. He wasn't, but he would say, I'll leave your ass here. That was his famous line. All right, I'll leave. You'll be stuck right here. You better come on. And shit, you ain't gonna leave me here. Walking right behind his ass. You ain't gonna leave me. Knowing he would have pulled off on my ass, and I would have been crying to mama. So I will say this. Age does matter, but I don't think you should be in there with siblings. I don't think 13-year-olds should be watching kids. I don't think kids should be watching kids, period. I think as a GameStop employee, I think they should have more rules to what they can do for kids in their store. I'm sorry. I think they should be able to get kids out of the store, right? And I know y'all might say, well, damn, where's the kid going to go? First of all, no. You know what? There's a new sign. Put up a sign. No kids unattended. End the story. That's it. No kids unattended at all. Period. None. No kids unattended. That's all we got to do. So, and I see depends on the age, 13 plus. Okay. So my man Magnus, 13 plus. Okay. So 13 years old, I will agree to that, Magnus. I will say 13 is like that golden age, man. It's a golden age where you old enough to know right from wrong, but you also old enough to still rock somebody's snot box. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted, y'all. A group of 13-year-olds will put the whooping on you. Okay. They throwing haymaker, a couple 13-year-old shots will take you down. They'll take any man down. All right. So 13 years old, they can rock your snot box. You still got the upper hand, but you can defend yourself. So I do agree. 13 years old, you've been, we went, and I want to talk about our upbringing because we were dropped off at movies, right? I remember many times my mom dropping me off at movies with friends. We were unattended. What about movie theaters that have to deal with kids being unattended, right? That's an issue. Now, I was probably 11, 12 when my mom was doing this. I wasn't 13 and maybe even 10. But we went to the movies. We came out and that was it. We might play the arcade games, which, by the way, arcade games were fire in the movie theaters back then. Back then, it was where it's at. It was where you didn't even have to go to the movies. You could come to the movie theater, go to the arcade, and it was popping. But here nor there. Nowadays, do you still drop the kids off? Because I'm thinking right now, I don't mind dropping my kids off now. You know why? Because we got devices that can track them, right? They can call at any time. They got phones. It's a lot of other things to make us feel secure as parents. But back then, it was like, I don't know. Was it? Because people were just as creepy back then. So what the hell's the difference? Why were we so comfortable with it then? And now I seem like parents who do that are just bad parents. But back then, they weren't bad parents. I don't know. Y'all work with me. So I'm going to get this. So I'm going to go with this. Chelsea Way, put this. Even at the park, we saw a boy literally break his arm when his parents were nowhere to be found. If his parents were there supervising, it wouldn't have happened. I could only imagine alone for hours in the store. Not lying. And yo, I want to tell y'all something. The breaking of the arm thing is real. It's legit. I'm talking about so legit that all I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, where the hell is this boy's? Where's this boy's mom and dad, bro? Where they at? Where the hell are they at? And he's playing. And you know how kids are. Kids, when they don't have their mom and dad around, they typically cling to other adults. I don't know if you guys know that. Or people tuning in. You listen on podcast. By the way, I don't know if you know that. When kids are gone from the adults, they tend to lean to another adult. As much as you think, oh, my child would not go to another adult. Guess what? They don't directly go to the adult, but if the adult has a kid with them, they'll go to the kid. And if the kid feels safe with the adult, then your kid feels safe with the adult. See how that works? So that's why I don't play it at all. This kid was hanging around us, fell and broke his arm. Mama all the way down 3 soccer fields away, watching the damn game while he at the park playing by himself. Now, one token, he wasn't getting, kidnapped or anything, right? But it could have happened. Do you think someone could have ran from the soccer field 3 soccer fields away all the way to catch him? I don't think so. And that's the problem with parenting. It's no blueprint. There's no written book guide. There's no perfect parent. There's just not. So you do your best to be the best parent you can be. But the worst thing as a parent you want is a failure by your own damn dumbass neglect. Because that's what it is. So if you leaving a kid that's 6 years old in a GameStop by themselves, you need to look at your own parenting. And you need to look at how maybe you were raised. Because that is not normal, as you see many people see here. All right. So let's go through some of these others in chat. At the end of the day, employees doing their job shouldn't be expected to keep an eye on other people's kids. Talk to them. I'm not expected to keep an eye on a little rugrat. Sheesh. All right. Man, these kids these days don't want to read about no car tread. These kids these days have, yo, my man Ignacio, these kids don't want to talk about nothing else. They want to talk about just straight getting down, right? And you know what? I would say that's a little more open. It's a little more open. And I would say these kids these days are a bit different. But the parents, what does that say for the parents? You know what I mean? Then again, I don't have kids and likely never will, so I don't know what it's like. Shut up, my man MGR. The days of Silent Scope and Area 51. Talk about it. Talk about it. You know, let's get this. Okay. I want to read this. I was dropped off at a mall with my girlfriend for a few hours and I was 14. Anything under that was a no. So anything under 14 was a no then, right? So that's even more than 13. That's 14. Now, I will say a lot of us are thinking of it as an aspect of 13-year-old and a boy. Think of your 13-year-old daughter by herself at the mall. Some people might be fine. Some people might not. When you start changing the gender in that equation, it matters on your feelings because you feel like a boy can handle himself or might not get approached as much as a woman or a young girl would. To each his own. But we're going to say this. I'm going to put my final piece because I'm going to move on to the next topic. I got to, get to this GTA leak. Like, I got to get to that. But this is my final thought on it. My man MGR said it best. A lot of people have said it here. GameStop employees or no retail employees are responsible for watching your kid. So if anything happened to your kid, don't come crying to him. Your kid break an arm, don't come crying to him. Your kid get all the money stolen, kidnapped, you're calling for the police and you're crying, I can't find my kid. Don't come crying to the employees. It's your fault for leaving the child. Don't go to mall security blaming the security that they ain't tight enough. Don't blame the mall for not having enough cameras because they didn't have cameras to catch every angle from when people were running out. Don't catch the mall security guard. Oh, you were asleep. You didn't see him running. No, the responsibility of the child is you. It's not everything else. All these other things are put in place as security measures to save you from being a neglectful ass parent. And mistakes happen. There are real times where parents have took their eyes off for 1 second. Child gone. And that was not leaving the child. That was literally somebody took them. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So anyways, before I move on, let me make sure. Yo, we had a place in the back of the mall. Not going into any more details, but yeah, my daughters will not be going to the mall under 18. I agree. I totally agree. Nick Mo, I'm going. Oh, okay. Yes. Please do, my man. Join the stream. You joined the stream. Okay, I got it. Just missed the R. I was like, join the stream. Damn. Do I need to get on right now? Shit, what we playing? No, my bad. I got you. I'm going to throw you on. So let's do this. Let's get on. I want to go ahead and now first, let me see. Joe, do you want to come on now? You want to come on for after the topics? You got something to say now? I'm going to talk about the GTA leak in a moment. So I'm going to see what you want to do. There you go. What you want to do? You want me to bring on now? You want to talk about something now? You want any of the two topics or do you want to wait? We bring you on. I'm going to the GTA leak. I got NPCs in real life. I got all types of shit to talk about. All right, here we go. We're going to bring my man Joe on. All right.
What's going on, Nick?
Joe, what's up? How's it going, man?
Oh, very tired. Very, very tired. Busy day.
I know
how you been?
I know how that is. So, Joe, this is a good one, man, because we're close in age, right? We've been through that stage of, when gaming was first prevalent, when you started having arcades were big, so there was really legit places to drop kids off.
Definitely. It was like a daycare center. And you know what? It's different with boys and girls. With boys, you can leave them alone. Nothing's really going to happen. But if you have daughters and stuff, you really need to be frosty and keep your eye out and stuff. I got left alone. Nothing at all happened, but it was basically this is how it was when I was growing up. You stay either in the toy aisle or in the gaming aisle, not both. One or the other. You pick which one. You know, I picked the gaming aisle.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember when I was maybe 5 or 6 going with my dad and my mom to Sears. I had to go to the dentist. And I remember playing Sega Saturn, Panzer Dragoon. I was thinking about that actually this morning. Thinking about that, watching a retro channel. And I'm like, the kids nowadays don't have what we had. And I'm glad that we've had those experiences playing outside, going to a gaming store. When I go to a gaming store, I don't have any appreciation for it because it's like between the hacking and the pirating and stuff, it's like, well, what's the big deal? You know? And now everything's online and everything. There's no more physical things anymore. Everything's digital, you know?
So these kids, Joe, that come into a GameStop now, what is the biggest difference that you notice from kids, and let's say 6 to 12, what they experience in a GameStop now from what we experienced in like a Funko Land or an EB Games or an Egghead Software? What is the difference that you notice most?
They don't play the demos because they can play them at home. You know, you remember if you want to play a demo, you had a demo just like for instance, PlayStation. I never had the Xbox magazine. I think they might have had demo DVDs.
Yeah.
But I remember the PS1. Oh, you get the demo disc, get the magazine and everything. You know, look inside the binder of the new games coming out. Now it's like, you know, the internet was back. We had internet back then, but it was shit. Now it's like you can know about anything. You know, I talk to people that are not even in hardcore gaming and computing like me and you are. They know about the GTA 6 leaks. I'm not going to talk about that. I know you want to save it, but I just wanted to talk about just with this particular subject with being left alone. Times have changed. I think it might have gotten better because we have more security now. I think it's more safer for kids to be left alone. Still not females, you know, daughters and stuff. But back then when we were growing up, I think it was a lot more dangerous. One time I actually almost got kidnapped. I don't really remember what happened. Some guy was talking to me or whatever, and he had another girl with him, another little girl. Then a week or 2 weeks later, we see the guy's picture in the wanted section for kidnapping.
Damn. Close call, man.
Yeah,
Close call.
You gotta be careful. But now I don't think that really happens anymore. You have cameras everywhere. And also people have cameras on them too. They can record this shit.
They do. So, Joe, and I agree with you. You hit to it a lot. I do think that back in the day, the demos were, you know, they were a big thing. You didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
So you had to go to a store to be able to play a demo, experience it, and, you know, new controllers, because we know how big it was to have turbo controllers, to have controllers that did motions for video games and fighting games. Like these
also
controllers,
the vibrator packs for the N64, we had those. Yep.
Big things that were vital to these stores. What do you think would happen right now if you take a 6-year-old and put them in a GameStop and say, have fun for an hour? How long do you think it will take before that kid disrupts everything?
About 10 minutes. Because they'd be like an adult, they'd be on their phone. Guarantee it. I can just imagine that. A 6-year-old looking at their phone. Just be like, I don't know what to do. You know, and knowing them, the phone would be almost dead too. Guarantee it. Be like 11%. They're playing a game.
No, I'm with you on that. And, you know, back then for us, coming in and playing a game, like I remember those demos. You see a young kid playing a game, you could be on that thing forever. You know what I mean? As long as, you know, nobody's waiting for you, you know, and there's other systems around, you could continue playing. And by the time you get off there, you still haven't even experienced the store.
Yeah, I noticed with like little kids, like maybe like 3 and 4 and stuff. Like their parents give them a tablet when they're food shopping. I've seen this a lot now, and that's become like really a big virtual babysitter. You know, they're like injecting their brains into technology. For us as adults, that's great. But for them, that's like turning them into a vegetable. It really is.
You preaching right now. Do you think, let me ask this, Joe. You at GameStop, Joe is right now. I'm working at GameStop, man. I got kids in here. They're ranging from 6 to 12. I got 3 of them. Their mom and dad walked out. They've been there tearing up your store, Joe. They throwing plushies around. They laughing and giggling. They loud screaming. One's crying, doing all this. Joe, what do? You're in a profession of having to deal with customers. So what do you do if you have that happen in a GameStop in the middle of a day?
I would say call 911, say, hey, these parents left their kids here and are destroying the store. I don't know what to do. That's what I would call and say. Because seriously, you can't yell or scream at them because they'll say, oh, this guy's a molester or this guy's trying to mess with my kids or whatever. You don't know. That's your best bet.
You're right. You know what? You're right. Now, you know what, Joe? I laugh because it almost seems like the extreme, right? But to be honest,
I had kids.
It works.
I had kids in the restaurant with their parents. They're about our age, and they have 4 or 5 of them. They're putting their hands all over the showcase. They're making a mess. I'm like, come on, it's fucking Saturday afternoon. I have no patience for this shit.
So, what or how do you handle the parents at that point? So, if the parents have children that they're right there, and I can imagine, and shout out to everybody who deals with customers, front facing, including you. I know how it is. So now you're looking at the parents. And they're just like this. They're biting their fingers. Oh, they're on the phone. Kids over there tearing up. Other kids' diapers filled with pee and crap. You know what I mean? They're just laying back. Do you step in, Joe? Or do you just let these parents be parents?
Nowadays, you leave it alone. Back in 2019, it was fine. For instance, I don't want to get off topic. I'm not into sports at all. Don't know, don't care. I made a promotion flyer for the pizza and the other stuff, right? Yeah. And I put I didn't want to put any teams on there because you're not supporting this team, you're not supporting this team. So real quick, I put an Italian soccer girl because the restaurant's Italian, right? She's nice looking, but I looked for not an inappropriate picture. I want to try to make everything family friendly. So no picture of the bust and underneath, just a picture of her butt and the back. I had customers complaining about that. I had to take down I'm not lying to you. You can look at my comments. I had to take down the ad today. This is totally inappropriate. This is what I did. I put my logo on the back of her shirt. Then on her ass, I put the address. And people, dude, there's women commenting on this woman's post saying what you're doing is crazy. Not to me, to the one that's complaining about it. Yeah. One person, I had to remove the whole ad. I got to redo it. But look, I can see if she was naked or had size, triple, quadruple, double D boobs or whatever. But it was not sexual.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look, since what happened with CV, people lost their brains. You can't tell anybody anything anymore, show them anything without them getting offended. Like, if this were to happen now, that happened with me with the kids putting their hands on my showcase. The glass is breakable. And it's expensive. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. That's your fucking problem. You watch your kids. Yeah. The cases are $1,000 a piece. Just by leaning on it with force, you can crack it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't tell parents what to do because you come off as a nut. And especially with their phones, they can record stuff and pause it and make their own little, this is my story, what happened.
They sure can. No. So, Joe, when we were growing up, I know that you mentioned the demos and, all those things at the different stores that we had. Besides the stores, Joe, do you think that if we didn't have an arcade, do you think that when our parents left us at places that they were bad parents? Or what grounds, at what level does it make you a bad parent to leave your child somewhere? And when we say child, the reason I say child, because even if it's 12, that's still my child, so you could say it like that. Child does come off as young. You don't think 12 when you think of child, because that's like the tween age. But so what do you think about that?
I don't think it's bad as long as your kids aren't nutty. We grew up in different times. I remember when I was a kid, at Toys R Us at the Pokemon tournaments. No lie. The kids were respectful. They weren't too crazy. They weren't too loud. These were different times because our lives weren't absorbed in technology. I love technology. I'm an avid for technology. Technology is pretty much my whole life and cooking. But times have changed. The technology has broken children. For us, for adults, it's great. Work and all that business and shit. But now, no, you can't do it. They don't know how to interact. They don't know how to drop that phone. And that's what's causing the problem. You know? Back when we were kids, it's fine. You knew that, hey, I can't go nuts. Otherwise, I'm going to get grounded or I'm going to get hit or whatever. Yeah. Now it's just like, no, you can't do that. You know, it's too nutty.
No, I'm with you on that, Joe. It has gotten wild today. And I look at those employees, yourself, and I think of people who have to deal with that. Because myself, I had patience of a saint. When it's broken, though, oh my God, I don't got nothing else. Okay, so I become short-tempered. I don't want to hear much. You know, it's like, look, man, I'm going to be honest. Your kid is not supposed to be here by themselves anyway, and I could be held liable. So you need to take your kid and go.
Yeah, like, you know, real quick, when I was little, maybe 5 or 7, I forget, Funkoland, you know, my mom or dad would drop me off there and they would go do something. It was in a big strip center, but the guy knew me and everything. Wasn't a problem. Because I used to go in there like every Saturday or Sunday, so he knew me. And it wasn't a problem. I didn't fucking flip out and shit. I was looking at the games, you know, picking out something and playing the demos and stuff. Everything has changed now. Technology has broken the youth. Instead of educating the youth, it's broken them. That's what it is. It's turned them into a vegetable.
So for all the parents, Joe, it's hard to say because I understand you're fortunate. Joe, you're fortunate. I say fortunate because there's a lot of men out there,
yeah,
with children, including myself. Which, by the way, I'm blessed for my children. Love my children, but I understand that how much money goes into children, right?
Oh yes.
Then on top of that, time. How much time goes into children? So, as a parent, you know what? I always think it would be a dream to go somewhere, be able to drop my kids off. Not have to worry. Just go, and do what I need. I, Joe, have never once had any urge to leave my kids in a store by themselves at the mall. And my kids past 13 now.
Yeah.
I still don't. It's like, if you're going, okay, if they say they're going to go somewhere, they're going to go check it out. If they want to go somewhere by themselves, they're going to let me know. Hey, I want to go here by myself. I don't want my dad by me. Okay, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah.
But it's never a time where I'm like coming in there and I'm like, hey, you guys stay here for a second. I'm going to be back. I'm going to get my hair cut. I'm going to get, a happy ending and a couple other things. I'll be back, and just go away.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, man. So, Joe, kudos, maybe, children, if not, cool, live your life.
Yeah, but like, with your daughter, when she came into the restaurant and everything, she was nice and polite and was very, mature. Yeah. And I've met other people's kids and like, my God, I'm like, you need to put a fucking shock collar on these kids because they won't stop.
Yeah.
That's it also has to do with parenting too,
They do. No, you hit it spot on. And when you said that, everywhere we go, you're right. Daughter, I don't have any issues, never any trouble, never had any teacher tell me she was any trouble. Never. You're right. That's kind of how it is. So I don't expect anything from her, but I could imagine, my daughter sitting here looking at this other kid, right? And he's over the top. She's like, man, this kid is acting crazy. And the parents are over there like, oh, I don't care if they break this. I'm not going to pay for it. I don't. Is there ever been a point where you had to say, you need to get your kid?
It hasn't come to that yet, but I really thought about it. With being a small business owner, you really have to be careful with that. But like bigger businesses, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But like smaller businesses, like last week, I had kids running around the restaurant. You've been to the restaurant, small seating.
Yep.
You could trip over something in there.
Yeah, hurt yourself or something. Yeah.
And in restaurants, the floor is always wet. Doesn't matter the front, doesn't matter the back. The bathroom, the floor is just wet.
I can see that. I can see them hurting themselves, and then they go, "Oh well, the tables are made of this material, and
Yeah,
that
they
is the
scratched their
reason why. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, it was the table fault. Yeah, the table did it.
Yeah, the table got up and walked away.
Yeah, exactly. So, nah, Joe, I'm totally with you. So, Joe, I am gonna bring you back on. I'm gonna talk about the GTA stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that for you. I really want to talk about that. I got a lot of cool stuff about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was hoping to have Kyle. I ain't see Kyle here. I was gonna get to him, but nonetheless, we cool.
I kind of missed the stream. Is Dead Specimen here or no? Or is he in hiding?
He said he was with his family. I remember last time he was out of town. When you're young, remember them days, Joe? Your family go out of town and you were with them. You just, I love my life. Oh, hanging around, vacation, playing the game. I can imagine now with imagine if we had Xbox Live back then when we were on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. We probably wouldn't even went out. We would just play Xbox Live all day.
Oh, yeah.
But nonetheless, these kids got it different. So, Joe, my man, I'm going to bring you back on later. We'll talk about GTA.
All right. Awesome. Sounds great.